And thank you also so much to the organizers of the Global Somali Diaspora for being here. It's an honor. And I'm really pleased that I can speak about the topic of youth employment and education. If it's okay with all of you, I'm going to share my screen now. I hope everybody can see it. So here I'm trying to explain that there is indeed a relationship between education and employment. Out of the OECD figures, we can see here that the lower your education level, the less chance you have on a job. Like here, for example, these people that have a lower secondary education, on average, only 56% of these people are employed. If you look here, if you have a higher level of employment in the OECD countries, then you have about 83% a chance of employment. So it's very important that we have a good education, because that means good employment. And good employment, of course, means also that we can have an income to pay for healthcare, to pay also for food, to pay for shelter, even for entertainment, like you see here, that will improve our well-being.
Sorry, Dr. Ria, to interrupt, but we can't seem to see the slides, just FYI. You can always continue if you have a problem with it. Don't worry about it, but just thought I'd let you know, just in case. Thanks.
So you don't see them at all?
No, we can't see them at all, no.
Oh, right. I will start again, maybe. Let's see here. Maybe I have to go back a little bit. Right, share. Let's see. Is this better?
Yes, we can see that now, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, great. That will be so much better then. Yes. So you saw, yeah, you couldn't see then this. So this is a little bit to explain the relationship between education and employment. So the lower education, that means that these people here, they have only 1 in 2 chances of being employed, while the ones who have a higher level of education, that was 83% of these people got employed. But employment, like I was saying, means also that you can have money to pay for healthcare, for food, for shelter, even for entertainment, to keep your well-being up to speed. Also, you have a chance to save money for retirement, and it comes back to education, because everybody knows you need to buy books, and nowadays also like computers, tablets for kids. So if you don't have that employment, then that means also it goes to the next generation, that they also will be in trouble. But what kind of employment do we need? What are the changes nowadays? Well, we see that the jobs of today, they might not exist tomorrow anymore. You see here in this picture, you see these yellow robots. They take over the jobs of sometimes 10, 20, even 30 people. And so there's only one person here, that is the person here with the white shirt. So he's controlling these robots. But that means that the type of education needs to change, because companies also need to change to be able to keep up with the other companies who are using more technology. So what kind of skills do we need nowadays in the companies? What kind of workforce do these companies need? Well, of course, technical skills will still stay very important, but it comes also down to more soft skills. And that might sound a little bit strange, because you would think we need more hard skills, but hard skills will be taken over probably by machinery. But it is these soft skills that are much harder to be brought into a robot or in a machine. And so what are these soft skills? Well, I studied like several articles from well-renowned business magazines like Forbes, Harvard Business Review, Entrepreneur. And I also spoke with a lot of CEO of companies and asked them what kind of soft skills do you need from people that work from you. And they were, in fact, we could bring them together here in these 6 bundles. So we had critical thinking and complex problem solving. That is very important. And then we have the adaptability and flexibility. And we saw that already this year, right? When COVID was happening, all of a sudden we all had to adapt to a new situation. And that probably will become even more critical in the future, because a very important UN report was already saying that we probably need to adapt more and more to, for example, disaster caused by climate change and also loss of biodiversity. And then we have the cultural sensitivity and diversity skills, because we need to be able to work with anybody in the world, because the workplace will be global more and more. And then we have these skills here that are more like these entrepreneurial skills. That's creativity, innovation, ideation, coming up with new ideas, originality, and taking initiative. Because only having an idea, that will be not enough. We need to do something with that idea, so you need to start doing something. And then we are going more towards an empathetic leadership. So that means understanding the people that you are the leader for. Emotional intelligence and collaboration. These skills will be very important. They are already important now, but they will become even more important. Then we have also, of course, effective communication and negotiation. We need to be able to let people know what is happening. So what does that mean for education? Well, we have to stop mass producing the average student. That was something that we were needing in the industrial age. You see here examples of people that do the same job. And we needed that type of easy jobs, in fact, but these jobs will be taken over by robots and other machines. So that will not be enough to give people a job in the future. So in fact, we should start to focus on the potential of all students. So not only the average student, also the ones with maybe that we now see are having not so high standard skills, but in fact they might have, because in this industrial model, we don't look at the individual skills enough. So in fact, we need to go from a competition model, because that means that majority of ours are losers, in fact, because in a competition model, there's only one winner. So all these students, they feel then that they are not good enough. And we need to make them feel more that they can also be a winner, that their talents are also important. So we need to go more to a personal development model. So how can we do this? Well, we can make sure that learning is something that makes you happy, that is something playful, that it is something fun to do. Why is that important? Well, we will need lifelong learning. And you can only really reach that if you, from a young age, and think that learning is something fun, and also feel it, and also really experience it as something fun. So that's why I think it's important that we also focus on the passions and the interest of the young people, because it's sometimes amazing with what kind of things they can come up with that we as adults often don't see. So that project-based learning that also integrate that multidisciplinary learning will be good. And focus more on how to learn and not so much maybe on what to learn. And because that has to do with that adaptability. We will need to be able to come up with solutions for problems that at the moment don't exist. So then it is hard to already integrate that in education if we don't know what the problems of the future will be. But if we teach children and young adults to really know how to learn, then they can come up by themselves for solutions. And that comes back also to that more personalized learning, adapt to the learning style of the young person. Like, I am a visual learner, and that's why I wanted to bring you also this type of presentation where we have a lot of pictures. I can remember that very well. And probably there are also in the audience people that learn like this. And others are will more learn from people speaking. So there are different learning styles as well. And sometimes we need to give some students a little bit more time as well. To really reach their highest level. So here you see like a different type of classroom where each student is, or a combination of students, are studying different things. And that can be a model that can be adapted as well. So we developed a youth global empowerment program where we start from the passion of the students, and we enforce that anything can be possible. So reach for your dreams. And we bring in that entrepreneurial creativity and innovation. And it's more like a co-creation of the young person co-creating a project together with us. So we are more the guides. And we try to focus on an outcome that is international. And of course, always communication is important. So we stimulate that global networking and respect in the world. And we bring in also multi-age learning from each other. So we learn from the younger students and they learn from us. So that multi-age aspect can also be important, and multicultural, because we can learn so much from people from other parts of the world. Also building up resilience and overall well-being, that is also important, and try to bring academic skills in a practical way, so to create that love of learning. And I give you a few examples of what we did. Here, for example, we worked with two boys, 11-year-old, and so their passion was to bring together a lot of kids from all over the world, and to understand better what their problems are at home, in their community, and in their country. So they started interviewing over more than 30 kids already from 8 countries, and they developed also their own logo. And so they are going to continue interviewing more kids, but they are also now in the process of making a video of what these kids have been saying, and also what they learned from it. So that we are looking forward to see that video soon. And so you see that there are all kinds of learning in here, but that is in fact the learning that we also saw that the entrepreneurs and the CEO of important companies were bringing forward. It comes back to that emotional intelligence, that creative thinking, also collaboration, empowerment. They also had to learn how to be patient, because they had to find out that sometimes when they were talking to a person and that was a young student in Nigeria, that all of a sudden the internet was not there anymore. So they had to wait for an hour when the electricity was coming back. So there were very valuable lessons that they learned simply by interviewing these kids. So, and as I say here, our role was more drawing on the passion, guiding the project, bringing that positive learning. And even when there were some dips, it was not always 100% immediately success, but we were able to bring that passion back to the kids. This is a secondary student, and so her passion is the environment. And in fact, you will hear more of this student tomorrow in the panel of the environment, because she wants to reduce waste and also harmful gas emissions. And so what she is doing, she is creating a biogas installation and a circular economy project in her school. So she brought that school to the principal. The principal agreed that she could start it. So she got some of her friends together, and they are already a multicultural team. So she has people there from Singapore, Australia, and Belgium working together with her on this. So here you see her with kitchen waste. So she will reduce that kitchen waste from the school, bring it in a biogas installation that they will develop themselves from reused material. That biogas installation will in fact have two products. One is compost that they will use again in the gardens of their school, and the second is the gas that they will use in the stoves for the cooking classes and also in the canteen. So it's really a circular economy project that she's developing right now. So they already gave presentations. They were working together, for example, with also here persons from the government in Victoria, in Melbourne. And they were also working together here with Alec, who is a student, now a graduate in bioscience from RMIT University in Melbourne. And so they learned already now a lot here, like the hands-on building. So that's more like this problem solving and also collaboration. There was a lot of multidisciplinary learning because they learned about chemistry, biology, safety, especially with gas installations, engineering, mathematics. And it, of course, since they were already a multicultural team, but they also work with experts in other countries. For example, the student here, Janina, she went to Belgium and spoke there also with experts. So that was a lot of learning. And then we also work with the graduate students from university, where we make sure that they are interview ready for a job, but also for in case they want to start their own company, that we also guide them here. So here you see examples of 3 of these graduate students. This is Andrew. So he is setting up his own business in the fashion industry. And so since he is very creative, he developed our logo for us. So that was a real life experience. And there we have Alec and Janil. They are both students from the bioscience department. And so we gave them the opportunities to speak at a global conference from One Health Tech. And so there you have important players, for example, like Google Health, they were present there. And so that improved a lot their job opportunity. We also had them speaking at a digital education summit, where they were also teaching other people all over the world about education. So this is simply to give you some ideas of what can be done to improve the employability of young people, but also how to work together with them. Because like I said, sometimes they come up with amazing things that we don't think about. But if we can stimulate them, support them to bring that out, I think that is really worthwhile. And I hope this gives you inspiration for students all over the world. So I thank you very much, and I hope I will be able to answer your questions.